All right, today we're cracking open a really fascinating book, Radhakrishnan Pillai's Corporate Chanakya. And what's so cool about it is how it takes this ancient political wisdom and turns it into a killer playbook for today's business world. Seriously.
I mean, think about it for a second. In the business world, right, we're all constantly chasing the next big thing, the next game-changing disruption. But what if the most powerful rules for success aren't new at all? What if they've been sitting there, just waiting for us for centuries, kind of hidden in plain sight? Yep, that's right. We're actually going back over 2,000 years to the time of Chanakya. This guy was a legendary strategist. I mean, his wisdom literally built an empire. And what you're about to see is just how powerful his ideas still are for building a corporate empire today.
So what's the big idea behind all this? It's actually pretty simple, but really profound. See, winning a battle, closing a deal, that's temporary. But building something that lasts, a real legacy, that's forever. Chanakya's whole philosophy is like a blueprint for creating an organization that can actually stand the test of time, built on solid ethics and smart strategy. We're talking about building a real corporate kingdom. Okay, so where do you even start building this kingdom? Well, according to Chanakya, it all begins with the person in charge, the ruler. Before you can even think about leading a team or a whole company, you've got to master yourself first. And this idea is just so crucial. For Chanakya, having power wasn't some kind of perk you get to enjoy. No, it was a huge duty. His whole thing was that real authority, true leadership, it doesn't come from just being in control. It comes from using your influence the right way, ethically, to build trust and actually serve your people.
And this leads to a really key distinction, a delicate balance in leadership. On one hand, you've got the severe leader. This is the person who rules by fear. Sure, you might get people to do what you want in the short term, but you'll absolutely destroy morale in the long run. But then there's the just leader. They find that sweet spot between being firm and being fair. Their goal isn't just to punish people for messing up, it's to correct and to guide. And that's what builds real, lasting respect.
All right, so once the leader's foundation is solid, it's time to look outward, to the organization itself, what Chanakya would call the court. This next piece of the puzzle is all about getting the internal stuff right. The dynamics that can either make a company soar or cause it to completely fall apart. Chanakya broke it down into these 7 pillars, basically the foundation for any successful organization. And you got to think of them as totally interconnected. It's like strong leadership points the way for management, which keeps an eye on the market. All of that has to be backed up by good finances and a great team. See how they all lean on each other? If even one of those pillars starts to wobble, the whole thing could come crashing down.
Now, I know this might sound like something you'd see on a modern HR poster, but this wisdom is thousands of years old. Chanakya totally got it. Taking care of your people isn't just a nice little perk. It's a direct line to your company's success. A happy, motivated team, man, that is your single biggest asset. They are the engine that makes everything go.
So, how do you make that happen? Well, Chanakya's strategy was super clear and practical. First, involve your team in decisions, make them feel a part of it. Second, when they do great work, recognize it, reward them. And third, if there have to be consequences, make sure they're fair and everyone understands why. It's not rocket science, but it's an absolutely timeless formula for building a loyal team that performs at its best.
Okay, so you've mastered yourself, you've built a strong organization, your court. So what's next? Now it's time to defend that kingdom from everything happening on the outside. This third pillar is all about strategy, how you deal with competitors, threats, and of course, new opportunities. And Chanakya's take on competition was honestly way ahead of its time. It wasn't about this scorched earth, crush your rivals at all costs mentality. Nope, it was about being smarter. It was about outthinking them with a better strategy, looking for win-win situations when you can, but, and this is key, always protecting your own advantage. And this brings us to one of his most famous ideas. Your greatest weapon? It's information. And protecting that information is everything. Think about it. What your competition doesn't know, they can't fight against. Sometimes, the smartest move is to just be quiet. Strategic silence is an incredibly powerful tool.
Okay, so what does that ancient idea of secrecy even mean in our world? Well, it's about protecting your intellectual property. It's keeping your next big product launch a secret until you're ready. It's being super discreet about potential mergers or acquisitions. And, of course, it's about protecting your data from getting hacked. It's all about guarding your most important strategic assets.
And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of Chanakya's whole philosophy. The end game here isn't just about hitting your quarterly numbers. It's about something so much bigger. It's about building a legacy that will last for generations.
And here's the bottom line, the ultimate takeaway from the book. Your values will always, always outlive your profits. A company that's built on a rock-solid ethical foundation, that's a company that can survive anything. Market crashes, recessions, you name it. For Chanakya, ethics weren't some annoying limitation. They were the very bedrock of what makes a company last.
But building that kind of legacy means you have to be smart about how you grow. Chanakya was a big believer in not just expanding like crazy for the sake of it. Instead, his advice was to lock in your wins, consolidate your gains before you take that next big leap. It also means looking at failure differently. It's not the end of the world. It's just feedback telling you how to make your strategy better. It's all about that artful balance between being ambitious and being stable.
So in the end, the book kind of leaves you with this one massive question to chew on. Are you just building a business, or are you building a legacy? Are all your daily moves just about scoring short-term wins? Or are you actually laying the groundwork for something that will be admired and respected long, long after you're gone? It's definitely something to think about.